I'm going on a quest.
Hey, how are ya?
Hello, Canada.
You like the dunk tank?
Walk over glass. Hey, rep, kiss my
We messed up. Things got out of hand. Drake's is in bad shape.
Don't take my gold away.
You wearing your rubber boots tonight?
I'm putting on my promo voice. We usually don't do promos here on the Rubber Boots podcast, only tons of jingles and commercials. But this week, near the end of the podcast, it's the most controversial, outrageous, dangerous Puffy's Hypotheticals ever. It's the largest, girthiest hypothetical yet. Just ahead on the Rubber Boots pod.
Girthiest.
Season 3 of the podcast. Duthie's Rubber Boots podcast. We want to thank you for listening. We're sure you never thought we'd last. Oh no. We're gonna talk nothing, very little sports with your host Jimmy, Jerry, or James. And now you know for sure that it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast, oh yes, 'cause this is the podcast.
We have sad news to report off the top of episode 8. Chester McLean, otherwise known as Sirius Lester, has been fired from the podcast.
It was a long time coming.
Yeah, I mean, we've given him reprieves before, but this time...
He's just pushed the boundaries too far.
Yeah, I think he has. The content he produces is just too over the line. We felt it just wasn't appropriate for our audiences anymore. Lester's not with us today. We'll see if he gets rehired next week. Had some business to attend to. We accepted that reluctantly. So It's just me and Puff. We may have a special guest that drops by. I don't want to tease it in case he doesn't drop by at some point, but we may have a special guest, and Stoff is here. So it's just old school. Just an old school threesome.
Three men weave.
I'm sure this has been the dreams of many of our female listeners.
Yes.
Stoff, Puff, Jimmy. I want to do an early shout out to one of our listeners, Andrew Chan, who wrote in a couple of times last year to the Dear Sirius Lester segment.
Oh, nice.
Another one of our segments that lasted.
I got to admit, I had high hopes for that one, too.
It did. And Andrew had good questions, and he stopped me at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
It was the big Hall of Fame ceremony last night.
Yeah.
We're taping on this on Tuesday, and we'll get into that in the week that was in just a few minutes. Lots of stories for you from the Hall of Fame. But there's a big party after the big induction ceremony.
Where's the party?
3-hour Gary Bettman speech.
Was he
in the Hall of Fame?
So it's just right there.
All the booze you can drink.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Food everywhere. And by the time I get in there, people are pretty liquored because they've been waiting and watching the entire ceremony.
Oh, so some people don't even go in the Great Hall?
Right. So you have the actual ceremony is in a mall, right? It looks so formal, but it's outside the Hall of Fame in that mall, the Esplanade or whatever
really?
It's called.
That's where it takes place?
That's where it takes place.
Oh, that is not where I had it in my dreams.
I know. They make it look beautiful.
Yeah.
And then So
could anyone just walk around?
You could be at the back somewhere and probably hear it, but you probably couldn't see it. Or
they don't close the mall.
They close it off with security.
Okay.
And then so only the invited guests, your Brian Burks, Tessa Bonhams of the world, are in the crowd. There's maybe 300 ticket holders, and then
That's it, eh?
Yeah,
it's a tight audience.
Maybe 300-400, I don't know. And then everybody else is in the party in the Hall of Fame watching it on TV. And then
that's where you'd rather be.
And then you go in afterwards, and everybody mingles together. But they're all hammered by the time we get there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, which makes it the most interesting part of the night. But
is it like a wedding? Do they close the bar during the speeches? Or do they let the...
Well, I've never been there.
I guess, I guess they probably don't if they're all liquored up.
No, they're pretty liquored up.
Oh, man.
Andrew Chan was in there. Came up to me and said, "Hey, I just binge listened to all of season 3." So he hadn't listened before, but he was enjoying season 3. But he misses the. I think in general that Andrew and I decided that we have to have some sort of viewer mail type segment, whether it's Dear Sirius Lester or not. Andrew misses it. Told me his fiance hates sports, loves the pod.
Wow.
And those are the...
fairness, it's not really a sporty.
No, not really. We do touch on things. We have a Puckpedia segment.
We do now.
That talks in hockey. We're going to talk the Hockey Hall of Fame today. All sorts of things to get into, but no podcast begins any better way than with our boy Roddy. Brought to you by iDrinkCoffee.com.
Middle of the morning, can't keep my eyes open 'cause I got to have a cup of Java. I got to have ShopCoffee.com.
Episode 7 started with Duthie ordering a pizza for the crew. It got weird.
Sexy large. Much like Puffy's penis. Did that sound inappropriate?
No.
It did, but luckily it was quickly forgotten when Lester proclaimed he's bigger than the Beatles, the Stones, U2, Drake, Lindsay Hamilton, you name it.
No, I'm not threatened by anybody musically, really.
Which itself almost overshadowed the guest appearance Duthie and Puffy made on the hit TV show Border Security.
They think that an illegal act may have been committed.
Is cocaine not legal yet? I've done a lot of cocaine.
Terrible. Terrible.
We won't be hearing Puffy on the pod for 5 to 7 seasons, pending early release for good behavior. But he did throw this hypothetical out at his sentencing.
You're in a cab, and a video of you making love to your wife/girlfriend ends up on YouTube.
Despite the obvious pride and glory, I can't help to think of those who would suffer should such a tape of Roddy emerge. And trust me, there are a lot of them out there. Could Helen Mirren's ego handle seeing me with another woman? How would I explain this scandal to my precious daughter, 1999 Sarah Orleski? And what about the team of TMZ video editors working vigorously around the clock to pixelate little Roddy? With limited success, I might add. Just think of the overtime, the post-traumatic stress, the inevitable envy. My God, the carnage. Next time Roddy's in an Uber, he'll take a page out of Bobby Mac's book.
Well, then I'm out of here.
Ditto, wise insider. Ditto. Till next time, kids.
Well, you know, the magic of that is right in the middle of the Roddy recap on tape this week.
Yes.
In walks Roddy.
Rod Smith.
Special guest star on episode 8. In to do his weekly invoicing for what? The plays of the week?
The plays of the week, but you mean there actually is a podcast? I thought you were paying me to just read you dirty stories. I mean,
just for the enjoyment of Puffy and I? Yeah,
anyway.
More, Rod.
Puffy and I and Stoff get in a room, we get naked and we listen to Roddy's reads.
Whatever. I just send them an invoice. Whatever you do with them is up to you.
That just reminded me of a story. We went to I might have told this on the pod before, but we were at a guy's stag in Montreal. Montreal stags.
I love the way you're starting the story.
Right. So this was many, many years ago. I don't know, 25 years ago or something like that. And there's about 5 of us. It's actually the night before the stag, walking around Montreal. And we weren't looking for a strip joint or anything. We were just looking for something to do. So we walk into this one place. And I guess it was a strip joint, but there was literally no one there. Okay. In fact, the 2 strippers, I guess, were like sleeping on chairs. And there was like a manager behind the bar, and we walked in. We're like, "Oh!" And they kind of got up and like started dancing right away. And the manager comes over and he's like, "Hey, boys, what can I do for you? Yeah, come on in." And we're like, "What is this place? Is this like a strip joint or a bar?" He goes, "Here's the deal. We got a room back there." I don't know what accent I'm doing, by the way. No,
it sounds like Emilio's younger brother.
French, but I don't know what it is. He was like French, Spanish, I don't know. A little Greek in there, I don't know what it is. Boys, you go in the room, you pay $50, all right? Or maybe it was $20. $20 each. You get 2 beers. You go in the room. You can do whatever you want. You can take your clothes off, whatever. The girls come in, they dance, you can't touch. All right? And, my idiot friends, of course, Gerry goes, okay, sounds good, but how's about this? We'll pay you the $20. We'll get the 2 beers each. We'll go in the room. We'll get naked, but we don't want the girls to come in. What? What are you talking about?
We just want the accommodation.
We've never had this request before. How are you, Roddy?
Good, Jimmy. Welcome back to football. Get rid of that hockey. Puff, always good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You grinding it out right now?
I've lost a lot of money on the Raiders, though, I got to tell you. So, anyway.
Not as much as Puffy's lost in the last few weeks, Roddy.
It's been a dark November.
It's been a long, dry spell.
But it is, seriously, good to see you back on CFL. Looking forward to Grey Cup.
It was you guys in your cushy, warm studio on the weekend, and me. It wasn't cold. It was a nice day in Hamilton, but that wind was going from one end to the other, and it was freezing. The wind actually sort of died a bit during the game, but in the hour before the game, I thought it was going to be the deciding factor of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the way it turned out, but I mean, just the Hamilton took off.
Yeah,
I mean, just like they had in the regular season. I was feeling more sorry for 2018 Sarah Orleski than I was for James Duthie or Jock Climbing. So.
That's right. 2018 Sarah Orleski was freezing.
It was almost like you later on in the game, like, just couldn't see her lips moving as much. It looks so cold.
Has she ever gotten confused during a broadcast and thrown back to you, Daddy?
Not yet. Not yet. But
Daddy.
you know what? I'm ready for it.
Can you imagine how confused listeners would be?
Amazing.
Hey, Big Daddy.
Yeah. I'd just be waiting for the look from Matt Dunnigan. I wouldn't even be able to look at him because he'd be staring at me like, dude, what's that all about?
My wife started calling me Big Daddy, and it really bothers my daughters.
When? Like just recently?
Just no, like at home. Big Daddy, it's time for dinner, and my daughter's like, you can't do that. Stop it.
Awesome.
So you do this every week. You come in and invoice and read a couple intros, and boom, you're out.
For the plays of the week?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cushy gig. I actually had another one. This has been a good day because, it's a great day now.
Right.
But it started off, I did, there's just one sponsorship deal that I do, and I know you have a ton of them, but I did another one.
Side hustle.
I guess we're not, this is a free sponsorship. If I said Kelsey's, Stoff can always, beep it out. So there's, I know you guys had some fun earlier comparing the narrative for Kelsey's to Rod Baby.
Yeah.
Right.
And fries. Oh, okay. There you go. Very good stuff. Well, in this script, it talks about like a great mushroom sirloin, and then the line after is only available till January 6th. So they said, and often you do it a few times. You do these reads, and then they want a few wild reads just on certain lines. So they have the option to edit it in later on.
No, so a wild read is just the line itself?
Just the line itself.
Okay.
So this line that they wanted a few versions of was So, and how many do you want? Just give us a bunch. Just go crazy. Give us a bunch, a lot of different things, and then we'll pick one. So, No, I'm just thinking, and I kept, after 3, I was like, "You're going to stop me now, right?" No. So this is going on and on. It felt like forever. It felt like a minute of just going. And
Damn,
what
that's
happens?
good.
What happens if someone walks in the studio? What the hell's going on in there? What's he doing in there?
We'll be using that on recaps forever to come. Now, when somebody pays us for our voice like that, do they own that voice forever? Like, could they then sell that to a porn commercial?
Put it this way: that is not a clause in a contract that I read.
Roddy would appear in Germany somewhere, some porn ad.
I would trust this is a very fine company that I
could listen to you do Kelsey's. Like, that's for me. That would be foreplay.
I don't think that's their intent, but thank you. Yeah.
Big Daddy, could you put on the Roddy commercial one more time?
It really gets you going.
We don't want to keep you. Do you got to go do your stuff now?
Oh no, it's done. So yeah.
You're already done.
I can hang out for a little while.
Stay out for a couple of minutes, and then
sure.
and then.
I actually have a CFL conference call that those of us working the games are supposed to take part in.
What time is that?
Should I tell them you're going to be little late on the call?
Is that on? What day? That's today?
It's at the top of the hour today.
Oh, 2 o'clock.
So you may not. I'll tell.
Should we just broadcast it into the podcast?
I'll tell our boss Paul Graham that you might be a little late to that.
Oh yeah,
since you're going to Calgary, right?
I am, and you're going to
Ottawa,
capital.
Yeah,
I'm a little jealous. You and I.
I'm just upset you're not going to be there.
I know, because last year we were together in Ottawa.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Last year for Grey Cup and 2 years ago for Eastern Final.
Right. But it is smarter that we have presence, I think, in both cities. So I'm looking forward to going out to Calgary, and then we'll hook up in Edmonton the next week.
That'll be good.
I mean, I don't know if we'll hook up per se, as the modern kids say.
I think they probably will.
Things happen, though.
You coming too?
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm on Wednesday.
We have a couple of
nights.
Edmonton. Roddy, that's when Roddy becomes, I think the character Roddy is based on a couple of Grey Cup nights.
No, well, maybe some of the Grey Cup festivities, like the pubs and.
Will you go right from Ottawa to Edmonton?
Yes, flying out bright and early Monday morning.
Wow,
so.
Not the woman, like the womanizing part of the Roddy character never happens.
No.
But the actual drinking, partying part of the Roddy character.
The gregarious.
Some of that, it's just considered research, especially Grey Cup week. Dutch and I used to host Grey Cup Saturday.
Oh, man.
And we used to have to get up really early to do that. And the highest praise we got from friends is we were out researching Grey Cup festivities rather late. And these guys are still rolling out of bed and feeling terrible. And they turn on their TVs, and Dutch and I have been on for an hour. So I thought that was a big compliment I got one time. Like, we couldn't believe you guys. Anyway. So.
That's being a professional.
Yeah. What was the game we did together? Was it last year or 2 years ago in Ottawa where we got to town together around noon, and I said, Roddy, I'm going to go to have a nap and go to the gym. And you said, I'm meeting my buddies at the pub at noon.
Yeah, can I bring them for dinner?
And then I met up with Randorf, and we met with you at like 8:30 p.m., and you were still at the pub.
Oh, yeah.
And we left the pub together at about 2 a.m., a different pub.
Yeah. That is a shift.
He is
Roddy. It was a 12-hour shift.
Those are the best.
But we didn't, but in fairness, now, the game wasn't the next day. We did have another day, but still, and it was an opportunity.
Yeah, the night before, we never do, except that night at the Stanley Cup final I told you about, where it was just awful.
That was 2011?
Yeah, 2011, that was a horrible night. But usually, I would only do that 2 nights before. And even Grey Cup, I'll even hesitate to go to Friday.
Well, we like to sample the partying early in the week.
Right.
But once we get to, usually it's the Thursday rule, maybe Friday. Thursday around there, but then you start shutting it down.
You guys are usually shut down by Sunday
by the
morning.
weekend we're definitely
Sunday morning.
By Sunday morning,
you guys are ready to bro.
Were you with us early in the week last year in the nation's capital when we walked home from the market to our hotel and we had the football and we were?
I missed that.
I was out that night, but
you two guys were together, weren't you?
Yeah, but you were with Rydell or Bump.
Oh, okay. You were at Bump and Spark Street.
We were doing like a punt, pass, and kick. We were knocking them into buildings and such.
I jumped in a car.
Yeah, it was. You got in a cab. You thought we were idiots, you softy.
Because it was freezing out.
And so is this once you get done Grey Cup, you go back to being 6 o'clock Sports Center, Roddy?
I guess so. I usually wait and find out what my assignment is. Maybe I could just tag along with you guys.
You need to get on like the curling gig or something.
Maybe I could just be assigned to the Rubber Boots podcast for the rest of the way. Full time. Well, you're taking an interns now. Maybe you can have a full-time guy. I'll make coffee for you guys.
We need it.
I tell you what, I'm going to let's change the order of the segments.
Okay.
So maybe we can get Roddy to participate, because the week that was, he doesn't want to hear all my. Although we could talk about Ric Flair. Yeah, let's do the week that was. Why not?
Let's discuss the week that was with James Duthie and the Rubber Boots podcast crew.
The week that was is brought to you by our friends at Untuck It. We'll get the Untuck It theme and tell you about Untuck It in just a few minutes' time. Let's start with the football, because we talked about it a little bit off the top there, Roddy. But, I was never a big wrestling guy.
Me neither.
I was when I was really young.
Wrestling.
But I never, and I went to a couple of events with Hulk Hogan and stuff, but I was never a real wrestling guy. Luis Arriba Martinez was my guy. I used to watch wrestling on, I think it was like the Montreal, what's the Montreal CTV station? CF.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Luis Arriba Martinez. That was when I was 7 years old, so it was probably the 70s or something like that. But you realize the power of wrestling. Ric Flair shows up at the Ticats game.
Why was he there? Like, who brought him?
Well, Angelo Mosco's a Ticat legend.
Yeah.
And he used to wrestle, I believe. They're friends, right? Was that the...
Yeah, they're good buddies.
Yeah.
But he invited him up?
No, I mean, he's probably getting the cha-ching for it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay and Dan did a bit about, like, callricflair.com or something.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it's comedy. It's actually true. That's what he does now is, I'm going to put the price tag, whatever. Let's say it's $10K.
Yeah.
And Ric Flair comes to your town and he yells woo for, that would be like Roddy should get paid to come and say, someday. Imagine that.
Crowd just like,
CFL.
May not have the same impact as Ric Flair, but thank you, though.
But imagine if that's your job, for just to drive. They fly you in, all expenses paid, and you basically go woo.
Yeah. So one of your kids' teams, if you were willing to fork over the money, and you get Ric Flair to go, and all the kids would be looking like what
who the hell?
who's this old guy?
A couple of notes on Ric Flair. He looked about 110.
Yeah,
but by all accounts, he's had a very difficult life. The 30 for 30 on him is apparently amazing, which I have to watch.
Right.
Like, he almost died. Used to drink like 12 beer a day.
12 beer a day. I think you could probably add a 0 to that.
Yeah. Did you ever see the one on Andre the Giant on HBO?
Yeah, I did. It was good.
He drank.
Yeah, the beer in his hand looks so amazing.
I was going to say Sports Illustrated did a thing, and you can't see it on the pod, but like in his hand, a regular can, I think a Canadian or something, was just going from, it didn't even go from the top to the bottom to the palm.
It's like the size of a thumb.
Yeah, you could just squeeze it and crush all the beer out of it.
They would say he would drink at a sitting 30 beer.
Yeah.
4 bottles of wine, and then a full bottle of scotch or something, and it wouldn't even rattle him. And this was a nightly occurrence.
Wow.
For the guys, unbelievable. So anyway, Ric Flair's had a tough life, but he sits down. Let's just play just a segment of the interview.
Can you teach me how to woo? Does it come from the diaphragm? How do I perfect the woo?
You know, you got to feel it. It just...
Do one for me.
Woo!
Woo! You know what would be better? Rod Smith, I throw back to him all the time. It would be...
Is it Rod Smith from Notre Dame?
And yeah, he was a quarterback at Notre Dame. No.
Huh?
No, it's a different Rod Smith.
Okay.
The guy one who played for the Broncos. He's also our host. So give me a back to you, Rod, and then a big woo at the end.
Back to you, Rod. Woo!
Yeah. That might have been the dumbest 90 seconds of television I've done, and yet the amount of messages you get from people, whether it's on social media or text, saying that was the greatest moment of your career.
Yeah, even I got a few on Twitter on that. That must be the best thing that's happened to you.
It's the best thing that's ever happened in your life. Which I don't know what that says about our lives and careers, Roddy. But
well, Ric Flair is a big deal.
Yeah, he is. I just love how he said, "Is that the Rod Smith from Notre Dame?"
Quarterback.
And I'm just like, no, it's the one who played for the Broncos. He has no clue.
Well, then you got Dallas Cowboys. Then you got, I think, a coach at Illinois. I mean, there are a few Rod Smith.
Do you know the one he's talking about from Notre Dame? Yeah,
no.
I have no idea.
But I was willing to go along with the story. I wasn't going to refute it. Yeah, of course, that's me.
Yeah, I should have just let him. Yeah, that's the one. That's
right,
the one. The one in Notre Dame. I'll make sure he says hi.
How about a shout out for the Irish here? Give us a woo.
So anyway, Ric Flair was, I think, all anybody remembered from CFL Eastern and Western final weekend. But we got some pretty good matchups. I think it's about as wide open as it's been. Of course, I thought the Lions-Ticats game was a pick'em game. But don't you think both these games this weekend are kind of pick'em games?
I think they are. I mean, and Dave Dickinson, the head coach of Calgary, a team that's clearly been the best in the regular season and then not won the Grey Cup this year, is not clearly the best in the regular season, even though they got first place. And some of this is just coach speak, when you say, I think maybe we should be the underdogs. I mean,
right.
Every coach will use that if they can, and Calgary usually isn't able to use it. And now, I don't know about underdog, but I mean, they met, Winnipeg played in Calgary a couple of weeks ago, and Bombers won, and Stampeders needed that win, too, as they were trying to wrap up first place. And the other one, even though Ottawa was beaten Hamilton 3 times, it's just a different deal. You see that in more than football. You see it in hockey, too. One team can dominate, the other one can come in and any give it Sunday, right?
I actually think... I always play this when I do the occasional bet or give Puffy advice. I always do, I think that's actually a worse thing for Ottawa that they went 3-0 against them.
Yeah, you got to win 4.
It's
tough to beat any team.
It's tough, especially when you're fairly even teams.
Well, I mean, we do a segment called Huddle Up for SportsCenter afterwards, and that was one of the questions. Is this necessarily a good thing? I mean, Milt was willing to argue. The other guys, I think Hank and Matt said, no, it's still a good thing, good for their confidence. Milt, I agree with Milt. And just what you said, I don't think it is necessarily a good thing, coming into Ottawa for that one. The other question, by the way, asked is Winnipeg getting Calgary at the right time? Does that question make any sense?
The whole right time thing?
Yeah, maybe not.
What do you mean?
Be honest with me. If I said to you, is Winnipeg, I'm needing to explain it, so obviously it's not a very good question. Is Winnipeg getting Calgary at the right time? My inference is the Stampeders, even though they won in BC at the end of the season, I don't know if they're necessarily back from their struggles, and Winnipeg is peaking.
Yeah. I think that's a fair comment.
Well, the guys, Matt and Henry agreed. Yeah, they all agreed. And Milt, too. Yeah, sure, ask us that. As soon as I asked the question...
You're an idiot, Ron.
No, this is Matt. Picture Matt going, well, I don't really understand the question, but if you're... And I thought, how could you agree? We met on this before. You agreed to the question, and then you shoot it down when we're recording.
That is awesome.
So we left it anyways.
That's like the evil quiz master, he does all the pre-interviews for me for the Hall of Fame, which we're going to get into in a couple of seconds. And so he actually takes the Hall of Famers. He goes to a lot of effort for this, and he phones them and does little pre-interviews with them, so he gets good questions. And so one of my questions to Marty St. Louis is, what's your favorite assist? And he's got this roll in from this great assist from Marty St. Louis. He goes, yeah, I went over it with Marty. So, all right, Marty, your favorite assist? I don't know. I really can't pick any of those.
That's worth showing the assist. Well, this is our favorite.
Yeah. And what the quizmaster meant was, well, I didn't actually talk to him about it, but I've heard him talk about it before, and I'm sure he would have done that. So,
listen, buddy, I don't want to keep you long because I know it's your half a day off. But thanks for dropping by. You always make the pod spectacular. As a matter of fact, you make it yummy.
IDrinkCoffee.com.
They'll be paying. That'll be an invoice you'll be getting at some point.
Just what Rod Baby wanted to say was that he praises IDrinkCoffee.com for hitching their wagon to the best part of this thing. So anyway,
That's right. We'll get you a shirt from our Untuck It, our new sponsor as well.
Oh yeah. By the way, I love the name, and I'd love to see. I don't know if they have shirts big enough for me.
Oh, 50 sizes.
But I'm a natural. Like for the Untucked shirt.
Right.
And I'm, you were talking about the dress shirts. 5 minits after I got a dress shirt on.
It's usually untucked?
Don't know if you noticed, I'm a bit of a husky fella. But anyway, those shirts are untucked very quickly.
Give them in your full Roddy voiceover voice. I'm Rod Smith and I untuck it.
I'm Rod Smith and I untuck it.
That probably cost me $2,000. See ya, buddy.
Okay, see ya.
There's Rod Baby.
Rod Baby.
Making
heading off for the big conference call now.
That's right. Just say I'm on, but I'm on mute because I'm at a loud event. They think they mock me for not being on those conference calls?
I think they might think you're a bit of a part-timer.
So what else were we going to talk about? Oh, the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So the Hall of Fame was... Well, let's start with the Hall of Fame game on Friday night.
Yeah.
First of all, a couple of interesting things happened there. There was one of our viewers who is also a TSN employee, and her name is Karen Sermon, and she does the morning show I go on with David Pratt in Vancouver.
In BC.
Yeah, and she's listened to the podcast. They always play the Rubber Boots theme when I come on.
Oh,
the
nice.
show. I think mostly thanks to Karen and her producer. So she came up just to say hi to us. She was in covering the Lions game, and the only question she had for me is Puffy here? Where's Puffy? And she was extremely excited to meet.
Very
Puffy.
exciting to
couldn't care less about me or anybody else, but
to
she
see
really,
me in the flesh.
Yeah, I think you're a bigger star out there than you probably even know.
There's tens of people.
Yeah, out in Grey. I think Grey Cup week. This could be your week where it really explodes in blow. I think we're huge in Edmonton. Dave, we go on the Dave Jameson show. He always talks about the Rubber Boots podcast there, so everybody's going to be excited to meet Puffy. Maybe what we'll do is we'll announce on Twitter a time that Puffy will be at a certain bar in Edmonton.
And we'll do a meet and greet.
Sorry, Steph?
A meet and greet. Let's do it.
A meet and greet. We'll get a table set up.
You can sign a bunch of your books.
That would be amazing. Have a table and just sitting there, nobody's approaching.
That would be the best ever.
You're just videotaping it the whole time.
The other great moment from the Hall of Fame game on Friday night was near the end of the game, where our perch above is high in the arena. It's not a really good spot at Scotiabank Arena or whatever the hell it's called right now. It's right at the top near the press box.
I don't mind that. It's a pretty good angle for seeing plays.
Yeah, so I like in Ottawa it's much better.
Ottawa is better, yeah.
So I'm basically leaning over the edge of the thing near the end of the game, and I don't think anybody else from the panel was really there at that point. And some drunk guy is leaving the game. And he goes, "Hey! You, Drager!" And then he has to say it again. You, Drager! I found that incredibly amusing. Because
Did you just give him a little wave?
I said, "Thank you very much." Now, do you think he really hated me? And
no, he hates Drager.
Hates Drager and thought it was me, or hates me but couldn't get the name straight because he'd had a few too many cocktails?
I think that's what always amazes me when people have such a strong opinion about one of you guys,
right?
And they get the name wrong. I'm like, I love you, Dutchie, and I'm like, how do you not know that's not Dutchie?
I've watched you forever, Sobalski. You're amazing.
And it's like you have such passion for this person, but you don't know their name.
So that was Friday night. Last night was the big Hall of Fame ceremony, which is always one of my favorite nights of the year. Where I introduce...
You don't get nervous? A little bit of pressure there?
It is more pressure than per usual. I always think live audience speaking is much tougher than television. I could talk in front of 10 million people in the studio. Not that we have those ratings for many games anymore.
We used to for junior.
Let's say the Olympic Games or something, or a World Junior Gold Medal game. Yeah. Because you're just talking to the camera, you're doing what you do all the time.
Yeah.
But, anytime talking in front of a live audience is a little bit different, especially when you're looking down at Lou Lamoriello and Brian Burke. And
I'm sure
Batman.
You recognize 70% of the crowd.
Yeah, when you're scanning your eyes and it's your bosses there, Stu Johnson and Mark Milliere and Tessa with
up.
Yeah, and all the Hall of Famers are in the front row. And I would say maybe a little more anxious because you don't want to screw up.
Yeah, it's a big night for these guys.
And it's the one night a year, I've told you this before, where I use a teleprompter. I don't use it ever, but I use it on this.
Do you struggle with it?
I struggle because I can't see.
Oh.
And it's right at the back of the room. And so what I realized...
22 font.
2 years ago, I couldn't use it, so I just had to like memorize, and I kind of winged it the whole night, and I made it through okay. But so last year I went to see my eye doctor, and she gave me a contact lens. I think we talked about this on the pod. Remember, I got it stuck on my for like 3 days. So that was the first time I'd ever used a contact lens. So yesterday morning...
Did you use it again?
Yeah, I had my suit on. I went to her. She put in a contact lens. I went down. I used it for the one day, and then I took the contact lens out, and boom.
Who took it out?
I got it out last night. She was going to come. She's my neighbor as well. She lives 3 doors down. She was going to come to my house at midnight when I got home to take out my contact. How good an optometrist.
That's a great neighbor.
Shout it out to Dr. Rita Louie, who's my optometrist up in Newmarket, Aurora. Wonderful person. Anyway, where the hell was I talking about? Yeah, so... But the coolest part is all the guys come, backstage. Not necessarily the Hall of Famers, but the people that present the plaques.
Okay. So
last night, Gretz presents the plaque to Bettman. And there's nobody backstage, really. The teleprompter operator, the producer, me. And so you stand in there during the speech for the 10 minutes with Gretz.
And you know him pretty well.
I know Gretz pretty well, and he's always in a good mood. And, just talked a little bit about his... He's like, I would have never retired if I knew life was like this. I'm running around here. I got to go see the Oilers next week and figure that thing out. This son's doing this. This son's doing this. This son's doing that. He seems as busy as ever, Gretz. Yeah. But he's always such an affable guy. So I always love to see Gretz. And then Scotty Stevens and Scott Niedermeyer are back there, and Geraldine Heaney was back there. Grant Fuhr was back doing Willie O'Ree, so I'm talking golf with Grant Fuhr.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic time.
Now, the word was that Marty Brodeur was incredibly nervous.
Yeah,
Did you get that sense?
I did not get... I got the sense only during my intro, when I looked down at him. Like, I try to make eye contact with him sometime during my intro.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to puke.
Really?
And he was the last guy.
Oh, that must have been hell for him.
He's so laid back, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've never really seen him emotional.
Yeah.
And what happened was he saw his dad in the video that was played. And as soon as he saw his dad, he started to tear up already. And I kind of got the idea he was good. Like, I thought Marty St. Louis, he was pretty emotional as well.
Yeah.
But I thought he might, Marty's such a wears his passion on his sleeve type of guy that I thought he'd lose it. But I didn't have Brodeur as the guy who would break down that much. But that makes it so.
Oh no, for sure.
So special.
But that would have been a tough night for him to have to sit there through the whole night if you're like not comfortable speaking publicly like that,
and especially through Gerry. Yeah. Gerry almost set the record. He may have. I didn't get an official time. But Messier had the previous record. Yeah. Remember, Messier cried through 25 minutes, I believe. They tell him they have 5 minutes.
Really?
5 minutes. So the other part of my day is I host the Hall of Fame Media Awards luncheon earlier in the day, where Joe Bowen, your buddy, the Holy Mackinac guy, much loved Leafs play-by-play guy, was honored, and Larry Brooksy.
Hey.
Torts was not there, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, Brooksy.
Actually, Brooksy had a good line in his speech. He said, as for John Tortorella, next question. And that's all he did. So Brooksy was there, and I actually told the story that I tweeted out earlier this year. This is a true story. My wife's name is Cheryl Brooks.
Yep.
And so when Cheryl and I are having any sort of heated discussion and she questions something I say, well, I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy.
You get that through your head?
You do not.
I do every time, and she has no idea. And she just walks away shaking her head because, as we've discussed here before, she has no idea. She doesn't follow hockey.
That doesn't piss her off, just even the way you say it.
Well, she'll by the 8th time, she's like, why do you say that all the time?
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy.
It's literally the happiest thing in my life. I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy.
I would laugh after saying that every time, but it's amazing.
But no one in my house gets it.
I wish Tanya's last name was Brooks just for that.
So the point I was making is I sit at a table with Bettman and Daly and Lanny McDonald and all the bigwigs. And Bettman and Lanny was like, so, Gerry, your speech. I understand it's a little long.
Because do they have it in prompter?
It is in prompter.
Oh, really?
And it was in a binder. So Gary's got to help her backstage too. The speech was in a binder. It was 37 pages. Now, not
who's telling him though? You got to trim it.
So that's what Lanny was trying to do. But it is the commissioner of the NHL, and so Lanny's trying to be Gerry. If you, what are you at? 7-8 minutes? You think we could get it? Gary's like, Jerry's like, about 14, Lanny. I think it's about 14. I can't do the imitations, obviously. We should call O-Dog.
Is he practicing it at home? That would be amazing.
But it was like they were sort of joking, but I could tell Lanny was trying to get the message across that you have to cut down this damn speech.
Yeah.
And Gerry was having no part of it.
Because how long does the broadcast go?
It goes as long as everybody goes, but they're just told to do 5 minutes. It's, we're on TSN2. There's no live event coming after.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football is on the other thing, so the rest of the TSN, so it just goes. We try to get it in 2 hours, and I think we came close last night because everybody else was bang on time.
Yeah.
But Gerry went 25 or 25:30 or something like that. And I think, you know what, he just said...
hey, screw you, I'm going in the Hall of Fame.
I'm on the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to do, let's talk about my career and talk... And, he made a couple of good jokes. I thought it was okay.
Was it good?
It was a little long.
Yeah.
But he wanted to do a whole state of the game. He wanted to get into his lockouts. He wanted to thank everybody. He wanted to go through all 5... Now, I'll give him this. Gerry speaks every year and does a speech. So he said, I'm combining my 2 speeches into one, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
But it was fascinating. The other interesting thing at that luncheon, they're not too fond of Rick Westhead.
Oh, the NHL is not.
That might have come up a few times.
Not a big fan of his work.
Rick Westhead, for you listeners, does terrific investigative journalism for us, but a lot of stuff, he got a lot of the NHL emails and such out there in the concussion lawsuit. He reports a lot on that. And
well, you did ask Gerry about that on Friday night.
Yes,
and
I did.
He didn't seem too chatty about it.
Yeah, that was a difficult one, I'll say, because I've criticized Gerry tons, and I will continue to, and everybody who boos him, I get that. Personally, I don't mind the guy. I think he's more likable one-on-one.
I agree with that.
And I respect what he's done business-wise for the game.
Yeah.
But certainly, all this, not having enough teams in Canada, the lockouts, those are all worthy things to criticize.
For sure.
Defending Arizona for forever and not putting a team in Quebec City.
Yeah.
And I'll tell him to his face all of those things.
Yeah.
And plus the rights thing, I'm not...
Oh, that was...
not because of giving it to Rogers, who do good work. I just don't believe in any sport you should give everything to one entity. I don't think they should have given it all to Bell.
No,
it should be Bell, Rogers, CBC, like the NFL. You want to be on as many outlets as possible.
Have everyone pushing your product.
100%.
And you don't want TSN doing Saturday night games for sure.
Right? Yeah, we didn't want that. We wanted Bob and I wanted no part of that Saturday night stuff. But I had him and I had an hour sort of have it out tete-a-tete backstage at some event, a month after the rights thing happened, which got really ugly. So, but I can't even remember where the hell I was going with this. The point is, Gerry's he's okay, but he was they weren't happy with Rick Westhead. Anyway. I think I started into something else and I completely forgot because I went on too many asides. But anyway, it was a fascinating day at the Hockey Hall of Fame. I wore Joe Bowen socks.
Did you?
To get Bonesy into the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he's the voice, soundtrack of a lot of people's lives in this
Probably
town.
your upbringing, right?
I mean, for me, the person I'm listening to when the Leafs win the Cup this year is going to be, I'm flipping over to Bonesy's call because I expect him to tumble out of the press box. He's going to be so excited.
He will be. He has. I used to live in Unionville with him.
Yeah.
And our kids played hockey together one year in the summer. His garage is like blue and white.
Yeah. He lives and breathes it.
He's a diehard. Him or O-Dog, bigger fan?
It's shocking that it's actually close because O-Dog is a big fan, but a Bonesy.
One other thing from Friday night, O-Dog decides to get Bonesy to do to do his voicemail.
Yeah.
And I wish we could get it to play it. Maybe I'll get Stoff to call O later to get his voicemail so you can hear it. But just in case he doesn't, I'll say it right now. He gets Bonesy to go, here comes O-Dog crossing the line. Oh, he's nailed by Scott Stevens. He's out cold on the ice. But if he ever comes to, leave a message for him, right? So it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
Bonesy just sold it. And O kept screwing up the record button on his voicemail. So it's an hour before the game. Bonesy has to do the game.
Yeah.
And he makes him do it like four different times. And then gets Jim Ralph involved.
And then he kept going on how it's $1 million idea.
That's right. And then we decided to steal it. And we thought, like, me and O could do something.
Yeah.
Where your voicemail would be, O-Dog, where is Joe Blow tonight?
Yeah.
He's just been completely absent, but maybe, leave a message. What do you think? 20 bucks a head.
I think the kids would pay that.
No, they wouldn't. We'd sell 4. We'd make $80.
You guys could do mine.
The week that was brought to you by Untuck It. Never a good look when you untuck a long, bulky dress shirt. That's why Untuck It makes shirts specifically designed to be worn untucked. A casual shirt that's not too long, not too short. Untuck It shirts are a go-to for any occasion, from casual to dressy, with more than 50 sizing options. Use the promo code RUBBERBOOTS for 20% off your purchase. Visit Untuck It at their brand new first Canadian retail store in Sherway Gardens, or shop online anywhere. Stop hiding your shirt with your pants and your pants with your shirt. Untuckit.com. Promo code RubberBoots. Lester theme song.
The moment I saw her, I knew it was on. Her eyes danced just as much as her smile. She looked me up and down and studied every move. And as she drew near enough, she said, I like your shirt. And I said, thanks, babe. It's an Untuck It. Untuck It. Cool, relaxed, comfortable.
So good.
We miss him, even though he's fired. We still
Great
miss
that
him,
he's
don't
here
we?
still, though, in song.
Yeah, he probably talks as much as I do through all his stupid themes that he has in here. Time to get to Puckpedia. It's our last funky name edition of Puckpedia. Hart, the guy who runs Puckpedia, and I were talking. We're running out of names. We have one more good one this week. Okay. And we're going to change the segment up completely. Perfect. Next week. I've added another name. I thought 3 was too easy, so I have 4 names. Okay. Just for you and Stoff this week. Okay. And one of the names is fake. One of the names is a real player on the Puckpedia website. Puckpedia is a place you can find out all the cap information for everybody, agent information, caps for your teams, you name it. It's at puckpedia.com.
So there's one fake or one real?
One fake.
One fake, okay.
All right. Are you guys ready? You ready, Stoff? You have to pay attention this time.
There's 2 names in total, and one fake, one real?
There's 4 names.
All right. I'll do the paying attention.
You want to play the Puckpedia theme while we warm up, or do you want to play it at the end? You want to play it now? Well, you can think about it.
At the end, it's fine.
All right, we'll play it at the end. All right. So, here we go. Number 1, Benjamin Finkelstein. Benjamin Finkelstein, a 21-year-old defenseman, 7th round pick in 2016 of the Florida Panthers. Benjamin Finkelstein. This one's interesting. Yeah. Jim Duthie. Jim Duthie.
Oh.
19-year-old, 6th round pick defenseman, Arizona in 2017. Jim Duthie, much close to James Duthie.
Yeah, if you were
a lot of people
a little
think
bit
I'm
younger,
Duffy. A lot of people
that
think
could be your fake bar name.
Yeah. Jim Duthie?
Yeah.
People think it's Duffy anyway. Garrett Pylon. Garrett Pylon, a 20-year-old center, 2016 round 3 Washington Capitals. Garrett Pylon. Could be Pilon, I suppose.
That's what I think it is.
Is it, though? Because Garrett's not a French name.
Gareth.
Hayden Hockey. Hayden
Hockey.
23 years old, goalie, drafted 6th round 2014 by Montreal. Hayden Hockey.
Okay.
Benjamin Finkelstein, Jim Duthie, Garrett Pylon, Hayden Hockey. Stoff, you want to go first, or you want to stew on this while Puffy guesses?
I'm going to go with Benny Finkelstein.
You believe that's the fake name?
I believe that is the
Benny
fake
Finkelstein.
name.
Puffy.
I am also going to go with Benny Finkelstein because I don't think there's ever been a Benjamin in professional hockey.
Fascinating. Let's do the reveal. Hayden Hockey, Hawkey, is a real player. Goaltender drafted by Montreal.
Yep.
Garrett Pylon, 20-year-old center, is indeed a prospect with the Washington.
So now we're down to 50.
Capitals. Benjamin Finkelstein is a 21-year-old defenseman drafted in the 7th round. Jim Duthie, my namesake, is a fake name. We win, you lose. Woo!
Wow, I actually thought that if Duffy would have been my 4th choice, I would have thought he was the most.
I know. You see, I tried to make it like
such an iconic name.
Well, you see, Hart wanted me to use like something from the panel. So he wanted me to use Chester McLean, but I knew that wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
Chester McLean, and then he wanted like Puffy Cameron or something like that. So, and I was gonna also work in a Christoph.
Yeah.
But then I thought Jim Duffy was the one. I tried to fool you there.
He did. Well,
and
he
I
did
succeeded.
a good job.
I succeeded. So
good old Benjamin Finkelstein.
We'll have to be watching him, right?
Yeah. I hope he makes it.
But one of our guys that we were talking about last week, one of the Chaz Redicop.
Yeah.
He was on the wire. He got moved or traded or something like that. So there you go. It's puckpedia.com.
Let me tell you about Puckpedia. Stats, contracts, and caps. It's all there for you. One-stop shop for your hockey information. It's a new sensation. So log on, log on, log on. If you get the puck, go to puckpedia.com.
Let's get to things that I saw on Twitter brought to you by our friends at the Gansevoort.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
I wasn't going to use this because I thought we'd have this guy on the pod at some point, but I was so entertained this morning that I thought, you know what, we have to put this in. There's an Ottawa Senators fan named, goes under the Twitter handle Brian5or6.
Okay.
You ever seen this guy?
No.
He's got a beard. He puts all sorts of wacky videos about the Sens.
Nice.
Mostly when it was Carlson. And Carlson would always write him back. Like Carlson would respond to no one on Twitter, but he loved Carlson.
Yeah.
And when he traded, he like smashed his TV in the backyard.
Okay, I think I saw that one.
But he's a very, very, very funny dude.
Yeah.
And he does, he's also the guy who came up with the Hot Sambacho. Do you know that whole deal?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've heard of it.
So that's Thomas Shabbat in, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for, Stoff? When you take
mix up the word.
Mix up the names and the letters of the name and you put it in the thing.
Called allegory.
Algorithm.
I'm going to go with allegory as well.
What is it? Look it up.
I am Googling. Hold on.
And
you guys are talking about an anagram.
Anagram, of course.
I wanted to say acronym.
Good thing allegory. I don't even know what that is.
It's an anagram.
Anagram, of course.
For Thomas Shabbat.
Yeah.
Hot Sambacho.
Hot Sambacho.
And so now all the Sens fans are calling him Hot Sambacho.
That's
and
good.
He wrote a song.
He's freaking playing amazing.
So Brian5or6, he does these songs, but he uses like some filter from Snapchat or whatever, and his face is like completely mutated, and he does these songs. So I would advise you to go onto my Twitter feed. I retweeted the song so you can actually watch the video adds to it. But this is a song he did about Bobby Ryan that I thought I'd play for you because it amuses me greatly.
Bobby, 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 Bobby Ryan. Bobby, 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 Bobby Ryan. Bobby, 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 Bobby Ryan. Bobby, Bobby Ryan. People think he's lost it, but he hasn't lost it. He'll dangle you with speed like the Russian rocket. He doesn't go on Twitter 'cause it threw off his game. And if you wanna fight me, well then I'll do the same. He started with the 6, but then he changed it to 9. I guess somebody had it, so he said, hey, that's mine. He's just so super handsome that he looks like Leo. I wish I could be just like him, but I have B.O. Bobby, 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 Bobby Ryan. Bobby,
Yeah,
Bobby,
that's
Bobby,
so that's Brian5or6, who I actually want to have on the pod. But you really need the visual of seeing Brian's face as he sings this song. And there's a great Hot Sambacho song that he has just released.
Hot Sambacho.
Hot Sambacho the same way. I think I am going to start on when I do the Sens regional broadcast, just calling Thomas Shabbat Hot Sambacho. You think I should?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
People in the...
Even though only 10% get it. That's the rule, right? You only want 10%
Yeah, but then
get it.
20% will get it later.
Yeah, and then we're all winners, aren't
All
we?
of a sudden, 100% of people know what you're talking about.
Things that I saw on Twitter brought to you by friends at the Gansevoort.
You work too hard, you need a vacation, so be like Jimmy and go to Turks and Caicos. Luxury and class of 5-star resort, you must book the Gansevoort. A nice villa at the Gansevoort. Come to the Gansevoort.
About 2 months away from my visit to the Gansevoort.
When are you going? What's the dates?
Jan 16 to 21. If you want to book your place, you can have one. It'll be like one of those celebrity cruises. You come to the Gansevoort, I'll be there. Poolside, we'll have a beer together.
I think that's James Duthie at the pool deck. I think he just did some curls.
There's still 35%
You looked
off.
jacked last time, so you're gonna have to get that body in shape now.
I'm a bit of a mess right now.
I gotta
admit.
I'm gonna wait till after Grey Cup, and then it's gonna be a
See, I've decided now because I had a cold and I used the cold as an excuse
Yeah.
to not work out once.
Yeah.
I actually went for a workout last week with a trainer, and after 50 minutes, I'm like, Dave, I can't do this. Like, I can't lift the thing. I can't bend. I can't do anything. And
Did he get in your face?
They're
paid to do.
He tells me I'm soft, but he understands, and then he stretches me for 45 minutes. So it's really good. He's a good stretcher.
I honestly think that if I win the lottery, I'm going to pay someone to come over and stretch me out.
Oh, it honestly is.
Yeah,
the best.
like I'm thinking.
And as we get older, we need that. It's as valuable as the workout.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm also going to have people come over and do other things.
Well, like what exactly?
I'm getting a massage every day for the rest of my life once I win the lottery. Like every day.
With a
like the legal on above the board massage. Every day, but I'm going to have them like on call.
Right.
Like they don't touch anyone else. Just this guy.
Well,
I'll pay him like $50,000.
That's what Emilio was for Roddy.
Yeah.
You're killing me, Mr. Roddy. I've been massaging you for 7 hours. I'm almost out of coconut oil.
Oh, almost there, Emilio. Just one more lap of the old Roddy body, and we'll move on to the macadamia nut butter.
So you're gonna have a guy like that? Would you rather have a guy or a female?
A lady. I've never had a guy massage before.
I don't know that I've only had 1 or 2 female massages before.
Really?
Yeah. And that's I don't mind either way, but I just
yeah, I haven't. I just always went with a lady.
Have you ever had a really attractive masseuse?
I'm sure there's been. I mean, I haven't really thought about it, but
has that ever been an issue
for
you
me,
while you've been?
No, I've never had that uncomfortable position of because I'm just so damn relaxed in them.
Yeah.
I'm not even like.
Did you fall asleep sometimes?
Pretty close, yeah. But then I don't want to fall asleep because I want to enjoy.
Right.
But if
I think you've gotten too soft a massage though. Like I have a guy named Murray who's massaged me before, and it hurts like hell. Like
No, I've had those for sure.
The deep tissues.
The
are
deep tissue,
hardcore.
but they still feel good.
Right. It's getting very erotic. Can you drop in a Roddy right about now? Let's get to Puffy's Hypotheticals, one of the most controversial ones ever, apparently.
Puffy's hypotheticals are messing with my mind. Puffy's hypotheticals, what's it gonna be this time? Puffy's hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. Puffy's hypotheticals.
All right, kid, you promised this one a couple of weeks ago. I'm a little terrified, but go for it.
Now, are we going to invite Jeff O'Neill into the conversation?
Why would we on this?
I think we've talked about this before in passing.
He hasn't called us.
I think that O-Dog could bring an element of to this that we need.
Okay, well, why don't we go through it first? Let me figure it out, and I will text him and say and see if he is.
See if he answers. Okay.
See if he is available.
Well, the question this week is a lot of guys like.
Do I need to do a warning, a listenership?
This might
warning?
need a warning. Yeah.
All right. The following segment is not suitable for listeners of all ages. Listener discretion is advised. The opinions represented by Sean Puffy Cameron in this segment are not representative of TSN, CTV, or Bell Media.
Or the Cameron family. Or the Cameron family.
Or the Cameron family. Basically only Puffy.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So, a lot of, guys have issues sometimes with their body and body parts.
Right.
And this one in particular, I was going to ask, how many inches would you add to your penis?
I can't
for
do this.
The following prices.
I host the Hockey Hall of Fame. I'm going to host the Grey Cup in a week.
People need to know you're just a normal guy like everyone else.
But
People
it's
think
my
these
name.
things.
It's not. It's James Duthie's Rubber Boots Podcast.
That's true.
So people are going to say, hey, you're the guy that did the dick thing.
Yeah, but you can just say it wasn't you. It was someone else.
Do I have to answer?
Yeah, so I'd like everyone to answer.
So sorry, how much? It's just a simple. How bigger do you want it?
Yeah, now there's a cost per inch in this thing. So, and because we all have varying degrees of wealth, we're gonna have different prices.
Okay.
So for you're gonna have to pay $100,000 to add an inch.
Hey, listen, I know what your wife makes. Why are you assuming that I have more money than you?
You have considerably more money than me. Stoff and I are gonna be $20,000.
$20,000 per inch.
Now it can
of
be
length,
a length or girth, depending on what you would like or need. You can't go in half inches, and you can add as many as you'd like.
Can you pay to remove size? Because I mean it's already difficult to get around for me.
Or can you get money back?
Can you sell some of your?
That's right. For $100,000, snipper. Take her down an inch.
Take the whole. The $100,000. You're going to take it down.
Yeah, I'll take 3 inches off and get down to average size.
Also, the work will be flawless. This is not. So they're not. You're not going to notice.
No. Why don't you just make it like it's a fantasy? Like it's your natural thing. It's not. There's no incisions being made.
It's surgical.
Because if that's the case,
and you have to be awake for the surgery.
I have not priced these things out, but I'm sure I could get it for much less than $100,000. What do they do, by the way?
It's not a real thing, is it?
Oh yes, but I don't think they actually add. They don't like take something off a gorilla penis and put it on your penis. I think someone told me that it's they like pull it out more. Like there's a lot of it that's contained within your body.
That's not true.
Yeah,
don't give Puffy any ideas, please.
Might pull a muscle.
Yeah, that you could put.
No, that's bull.
We could get a doctor on here that does dream analysis.
Yes. And plastic surgery.
And it was also Eric Stone Street. Then I think it's a matter of, are we on camera today?
Yeah, probably.
Oh. There's some more in there that you could get out.
No, that's so not true.
We have like 30 feet of intestines in our body.
So you think there's just like 15 inches of
I think there's a coil. There's a coil in there.
That's just like wrapping. How has this never been discovered before?
I don't know. I just think it's a good theory that we should be untapped.
It's completely not true.
Okay.
This is true. You can have surgical work done for $100,000.
What are you going to charge ODOG?
ODOG's going to get a $250,000
per inch. Okay, so I'm going to try and call ODOG, and I'll just put him on speakerphone. He's going to love this.
Chip O'Neill coming across the middle. He cuts in over the line. He gets leveled by Scott Stevens. He is out. Well, when he wakes up, he'll try and give you a call back. He'll never be back.
That was Jim Ralph at the end.
Back number, press 5.
Hey, call me back. I need you for something. It's about the show this Friday night. One of our segments we're doing. Okay, it's important for the Leafs game. And that's the only way he'll call me back.
That's great. See, that's a great text.
So there you go. We fit it all together. We got the answering machine in there
100%.
because ODOG was on the phone. Stoff,
$20K an inch.
What would you like?
I'm fascinated by how this works. I never knew the human body worked that way. You know what? I'm quite pleased with what I have. However, if it's $20,000 is the investment per inch, I would probably go heavily in on both the length and the girth, and then turn myself into a freak show where I could then recoup the money.
Oh,
so
or
you're
do some
taking
sort of
like
specialty porn.
So you're going to spend $200,000 to take 10 inches?
Yeah, sure.
And four in girth.
I'm basically going to have a cube.
Oh, hold on. Here's ODOG. Hey, buddy. How are you?
You were trying so hard to make Gerry and Bill Daly laugh yesterday at lunch. They did not even budge.
So the entire lunch hour yesterday, O is in my eye line right behind Gerry and Bill Daly.
Yeah.
And he wants to get out of there, and the luncheon takes about 2 hours. So he keeps giving me the wrap it up signal when I have no say in the matter. It was good of you to attend and support your buddy Bonesy. We're on the pod. We're taping the pod, just so you know.
Yeah, let me put on my surprise face. There's no goddamn reason that lunch should be more than an hour and 15 minutes.
I tried to lobby Chuck Caton, the former voice of the Hurricanes, as to why you didn't get a video tribute in Carolina. One of your big pet peeves. He has no idea. He didn't do it.
It's out of control now. It's out of control. I like Connor Carrick, but him and Roman Polak got video tribute.
Nothing for Jeff O'Neill. Okay, so Puffy's hypothetical this week is a little bit controversial. He's basically said that you could enlarge your unit, little Jeffy, for different prices. So for Puffy, it's $20,000 per inch, and you can go longer or wider, so inch of girth or length. For me, he charged $100,000. For you, with all your NHL money, $250,000 per inch. Would you partake in that?
I would have a closed-door meeting with my ex-wife and my kids, and I would say there's nothing coming at you at 31 years old, and to my ex-wife, there's no more payments because I would empty the tank all in.
So, what does that mean? $1 million? $2 million?
I might need 3, Jim. I'm getting a bag at the bank. I'm emptying the tank.
Puffy, is this retroactive? Do you relive your life?
Yeah,
with this?
you're going to start over at 18 years old.
Oh, so it's 18-year-old Jeff has all of this. So, yeah.
I would just have a bat. I'm all in. I would go all in.
Thank you, Jeff. That's
For everyone thinking that was a stupid question, obviously it's not. And trust me, if there was like 10 inches of in O'Neill's insides, he would have pulled that out long ago.
He seems to have really thought about it. Like, this is something that he would legitimately consider.
$3 million he's in for.
This is
so
the
that's
one.
good.
This
12
is,
inches.
This is the one that ends the pod.
No.
Or makes it blow up.
It's fine. So Stoff is in for a lot.
Yeah, Stoff wants to be a freak show. I want to do a reduction.
Yeah.
I'll pay for a reduction. And Puffy, what about you? This was your hypothetical.
Yeah, I'm in for about 2 inches of length.
Okay.
And 1 of girth.
2 and 1?
Yeah.
2 plus 1?
Yeah.
If I were to answer, I'll go 1 plus 1. Just 1 plus 1.
Yeah. Don't want to be a circus freak, but everyone can use a little hand.
But I think it would be okay. The retroactive part is kind of important because, at this point you're a one.
Yeah.
You're a one woman man.
I'm sure,
one woman
I'm sure
man.
My wife would be like,
yeah,
we'll save the
cash. Yeah. Or there's no way you're spending it on that.
We're
or would
fine.
She? Or would she? Let's call her. Let's get Tanya on the line.
I looked up the actual procedure,
right.
and Duthie is not far off.
Hello?
What?
There's a big coil in there, I'm telling you.
It says that it's done by moving skin from the abdomen into the penile shaft. So skin from your abdomen.
That's plastic. You're not at all correct.
Okay, but skin, what do they mean by skin? You can't just have skin. You have
There's
to have
adding skin to it.
But is there
skin you already have, I guess.
Yeah.
But is there some sort of synthetic device underneath the skin? Or are we putting a piece of plastic down there?
No, it's the same way they do like a skin graft.
No, but I actually think they push your thing in and pull it out more. I'm not kidding.
Here,
it says
it can cause your erect penis to be unstable.
What does that even mean?
Imagine
how
angry O will be
fall off
when he spends $3 million
and it's unstable.
It's all
There's no stability to it.
It just doesn't cooperate.
He's going to spend another $1 million on Cialis.
But what do they? Does they mean it's like like one of those fire hoses that gets out of control? Is that what they mean? It's just shooting in every direction.
He would be so angry.
Oh dear, Puffy, you've outdone yourself this time.
Yeah.
We didn't do an intern this week simply because I haven't had time. Too much Hall of Fame stuff. Too much CFL stuff for Jimmy right now. And I also can't even keep track. If you were an intern finalist who I haven't been in contact with yet, please reach out to us on the Instagram or the Twitter Rubber Boots
Did
Pod.
you find the kid that you never sent him a buck and he was
Dougie, small. What was the name? Bright Eyed Dougie or something like that. he never got back to us. But that review, still sits there. Like Apple's so stupid.
Yeah.
So that Bright Eyed Dougie, I think was his name.
Dougie.
Like that review just sits on top of the reviews. So if you go on Rubber Boots Pod, it's that one and some other crappy one. There's like 1 million good reviews, and you get Bright Eyed Dougie going, Duthie broke my heart. He's such.
Pretty messed up.
Yeah, pretty messed up is what it is.
That's the best line. Pretty messed up.
What's this episode going to be called? Because Christoph always comes up with a good name. It's going to be some quote from O.
Yeah.
On I'm going all in, or I'm getting a bat.
Okay.
Good Lord. Apologies to Stuart Johnson, Mark Milliere, George Cope, all of our bosses, Ken Volden.
Anyone else has been offended?
Anyone else offended by this segment? All 3 of our wives, Stoff's kids. Lester might be happy he missed this one.
Yeah.
What about let's do a predictor on what Lester would have said.
Lester, I don't know what he would have.
He would have said
"This
he would have said
question's
nothing.
ridiculous."
Just like his quote from the Roddy recap this week, he'd be, I'm not threatened by anyone sexually. That's what he would have said. Thanks for listening to the Rubber Boots podcast. Why don't you weigh in? And Andrew Chan. We started off the top by saying Andrew Chan wants a viewer mail type segment.
Yeah, how many?
So weigh in on Twitter. I'm not going to put out a poll because I probably get in trouble with the bosses for that.
Yeah.
So listen to the pod. Go on to the Rubber Boots Twitter account and just weigh in on exactly how much you would spend. What should we do for our listeners? Should we make it cheaper for them? Should we make it the same price as you? We don't know what their income is. 20 grand. We'll keep it at 20 grand.
20 grand.
20 grand per inch.
20 grand per inch.
Puffy's Hypotheticals, all-time low or an all-time high, depending on how you look at it. We'll see you next week. I believe Puffy and I will be at the Grey Cup.
Coupe de Grey.
It'll be the Grey Cup edition.
Week tomorrow,
which will be just a nightmare for Stoff. Wait a second, we're going to have to do that. Well, do I wait for you? You're not there till...
I'm there Wednesday evening.
Okay, we'll do a short version of the pod from the Grey Cup on like Thursday or something like that. We'll try to give you a real 20-minuter because this one's been about...
I should be done this one by then.
4 freaking hours. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week from Calgary. Oh, wait a second.
Edmonton.
I'm going to Calgary first. We'll see you from Edmonton.
Hey, how are you? I got a question that I really want to ask you. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up, please. Somebody. Hey? Anyone?